Yeah, how do you put someone in jail and you don't even name the clients? That sounds kind of insane. A lot of people that met with him and did business with him and traveled with him after he was arrested.
Last name, area codes, okay. Who created this book?
So we're joined by Jeffrey Epstein survivor, Annie Farmer. Annie, thank you so much for taking the time to come back on the show.
I would like to answer your question, but on the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer this question and any related questions.
People online claim that during a recent podcast episode, Joe Rogan discussed newly released files from the United States Department of Justice related to Jeffrey Epstein, and one unexpected name quickly began trending: Oprah Winfrey. Rogan did not accuse Oprah of any wrongdoing. Instead, he carefully questioned why certain powerful figures repeatedly appear in contact books, flight logs, or social circles connected to Epstein. He emphasized that being mentioned in official documents does not prove guilt. It only indicates that someone may have crossed paths with Epstein at some point. Within elite Hollywood and billionaire circles, many well-known individuals encountered him long before his crimes were publicly exposed. Rogan suggested that the broader issue is transparency. Why were so many influential celebrities, politicians, and media figures socially linked to Epstein without raising concerns? Did their prominence help enhance his credibility, or was it simply a reflection of elite networking culture? Rogan also highlighted the speed at which online speculation spreads. Images, emails, and contact listings can easily be taken out of context, and without verified evidence, turning suspicion into accusation can be irresponsible and harmful. His central warning focused on power structures, how wealth and status can shield individuals from scrutiny, and on the public's demand for clarity when new documents emerge. The discussion, he noted, was not about proving Oprah did anything wrong. It was about questioning why prominent names continue to surface around one of the darkest scandals in modern history, and why so many details still feel unresolved.
We'll keep breaking.
An understanding of how things are really working than ever before.
Yeah.
Like this Epstein file thing, right? That was a big eye-opener for a lot of people. When you see how many people after 2008, after he was arrested, after he went to jail, were actively taking money from him. MIT took money from him and tried to hide it and said to make sure that any donations from Jeffrey are listed as anonymous. So wow. you find out like people are like, they referred to him as Voldemort, like you couldn't say his name.
Wow.
There was a lot of people that met with him and did business with him and traveled with him after he was arrested, after he went to jail.
Do you spend a lot of time reading them?
No, I try not to. I try to have experts come on. I try to read. You can't change it.
Yeah.
And it'll with your head.
Yeah, it's like toxic.
You will really get.
It'll stick with and I know I've tried not to.
What you're about to hear may sound almost unbelievable, like something pulled from a late-night conspiracy thread. Yet several former insiders and outspoken celebrities have claimed that certain corners of the entertainment industry conceal practices far more disturbing than the public ever sees. Whispers circulate about powerful executives with grotesque obsessions, and stories so dark they scarcely seem human. One controversial figure, Peter Nygard, who once moved within high-profile celebrity circles and reportedly appeared in spaces connected to Oprah Winfrey, has been the subject of shocking allegations. Reports claim he was recorded making deeply disturbing requests and allegedly attempting to pressure women for access to fetal remains. The details alone are enough to unsettle anyone. Whether every claim is accurate remains a matter of dispute. However, one thing feels undeniable to many observers. Beneath Hollywood's polished red carpets and flashing cameras lie shadows most people never imagine. And the deeper you look, the more unsettling the picture appears.
Trial of a former dormitory matron charged with abusing 6 students at Oprah Winfrey School for Girls in South Africa is resuming. Prosecutors say former dorm matron Tina Virginia Makopo tried to kiss and fondle the girls. She's also accused of kicking and hitting some of them. Makopo pleaded innocent to 14 charges of indecent assault assault and criminal injury in South Africa. Meanwhile, in Philadelphia, the ex-headmistress of the $40 million school is suing Winfrey for defamation. The suit claims someone would conclude from Winfrey's comments that the school employee knew of the alleged abuse and was actively involved in covering it up.
I was, needless to say, devastated and really shaken to my core.
Winfrey said she was disappointed in the former headmistress. The TV talk show host also made comments about students who felt there was an atmosphere of repression at the school.
And I spoke to all the girls personally, and I encouraged all of them, any of them who had actually been harmed, to please.
Some insiders claim that the use of other people's biological material, particularly stem cells and blood, occurs far more often than the public realizes. When news broke about Jeffrey Epstein and the allegations involving minors, shockwaves rippled through the entertainment industry. Around that same time, Nicki Minaj posted a series of cryptic tweets hinting at experiences she said she had witnessed behind closed doors during her career. She did not mention anyone by name or make direct accusations. However, the timing and wording of her posts immediately raised eyebrows. Many observers speculated about who or what her comments might have been referencing. As Epstein-related documents and discussions continued to surface, some believed her remarks pointed toward the same influential social circles whose names repeatedly appeared in connection with the scandal. While interpretations vary, the overlap in timing fueled ongoing debate and intensified public scrutiny of powerful figures within elite networks.
If you were on the scene and you were powerful, to be honest, if you're not in those files, it would be an insult because it just means that you were a bit of a loser.
She wrote, your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of blood sacrifice to their god.
Epstein was possibly about to cooperate with the feds right before he died.
Now, Oprah is limited in the context of the files, but there is clear collusion between Oprah and Jeffrey Epstein.
In the end, everything circles back to one chilling question. What exactly was Jeffrey Epstein doing with the children and young people around him? Depending on who you ask, the answer split into two very different and equally disturbing accounts. Several of Epstein's alleged victims later came forward, describing what they believed was something far more calculated and sinister than the public initially understood. According to sworn testimony and investigative reports, Epstein was not only accused of exploitation, but also of entertaining disturbing ideas about reproduction and legacy. One particularly unsettling claim involved discussions about using his New Mexico estate, Zorro Ranch, as a controlled environment where women would be inseminated with his sperm and encouraged, or pressured, to carry pregnancies to term. A witness alleged that he spoke openly about these plans with scientists and wealthy associates, presenting them less as fantasies and more as structured proposals. Reports suggested he envisioned as many as 20 women being pregnant at the same time on the sprawling 33,000 square foot property outside Santa Fe. If true, this was not framed as impulsive behavior, but as something methodical and ideologically driven. Epstein was said to be fascinated by theories of eugenics, genetic selection, and the idea of shaping his own bloodline, discussing such topics as though they were intellectual pursuits rather than deeply ethical violations. Even more troubling were claims that these conversations occurred during formal dinners and private gatherings attended by respected figures. In some accounts, discussions allegedly drifted toward so-called designer babies. Whether every allegation is accurate remains contested, but the accusations paint a picture of ambition that many observers find profoundly disturbing.
I'm in the files for not going.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm in the files for not going. Jeffrey Epstein was trying to meet with me.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
I'm like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad?
Yeah, but I would have never went anyway. It's not even a possibility that I would have went.
But
especially after I Googled him. I was like, what the f are you talking about? This was like 2017. One of my guests was trying to get me to meet him. I was like, you high? Like, what the f are you talking about?
For what reason would you? What would be...
If I was a guy who was like sucking up to the rich and powerful, if I was really interested in hanging out with rich and powerful people.
You know, it's crazy. That's so crazy. But yeah, some people
get intoxicated by being in a circle of rich and powerful people, even if they're not like they don't even have any ambitions of being one of those people. They just want to be around them. They want to be around Nobel Prize winners, and because this guy what he was doing was very clever in that he was getting all of these very powerful and very respected people together. Yeah. And you would figure like, oh, if
that guy's there, if that lady's
Clinton's
there.
Here. This is fine. Clinton's here. How could this be bad? Yeah. Look, it's Steven Pinker. How could this be bad? Yeah. You know, he's a genius. Like, and so you would go, I would imagine, you would go to these, because like, there's people that went to these, like, he had parties in New York, like, he brought in celebrities and comedians. Didn't Louis Black get invited to one of those? I think he's talked about it. I know Chelsea Handler went to one of them. It's like he would bring all these people in, and he'd like to be around famous people and entertainers and a lot of intellectuals and professors. And Noam Chomsky was famously deep.
Unspeakable acts were rumored to have taken place on Little St. James, the private island owned by Jeffrey Epstein. The stories were so disturbing that they continued to circulate years later. When Epstein was first arrested in 2006, the impact was immediate. His name became radioactive, public scrutiny intensified, and legal pressure mounted quickly. Rather than retreat from the spotlight, Epstein attempted to reshape his image. He turned to a strategy often associated with powerful figures facing controversy: reputation laundering. In the aftermath of his arrest, he worked aggressively to reinvent himself as a philanthropist and intellectual patron. Donations began flowing into charities and academic initiatives. He sought entry into elite humanitarian and scientific circles, where credibility functions as a powerful form of currency. Universities accepted his funding, nonprofits opened their doors, and respected institutions granted him access, even though his past was already known and deeply troubling. Despite these efforts, suspicion lingered. The damage to his reputation proved difficult to erase. According to observers, Epstein eventually recognized that money alone could not fully restore his standing. What he appeared to seek next was not simply influence through donations, but association with trusted public figures, individuals whose established reputations might overshadow his own controversies.
About Oprah. Now, Oprah is limited in the context of the files, but there is clear collusion between Oprah and Jeffrey Epstein. What do you mean? Well, Sarah Ferguson, yes, the Duchess of York, she is involved with Epstein, and she is involved with Oprah. Let's talk about this specifically. Sarah sent Epstein an email saying, I want to make sure you're aware I'm going on Oprah tomorrow, and she is going to ask me about my debts, the entrapment of last year, and the press about you in January. It'll be quick and at the top of the show, all of 10 seconds, a very small piece. However, I just wanted to make sure that you are aware of this and seek your advice on how you want me to answer. It will be a tiny piece. This is straight up collusion. This is Oprah passing through a message to Epstein. And you know what? Jeffrey responded to Sarah with the answer that he was supposed to give. Jeffrey was unfairly characterized as a pedophile by the tabloid press. Many years ago, Jeffrey pleaded guilty to soliciting underage prostitutes. He paid his debt to society and has sought forgiveness. I have nothing more to say. This was in 2011. This is clear collusion between Oprah, Sarah.
This is where the conversation becomes uncomfortable. When you step back and look at the broader picture, Oprah Winfrey's name does not appear only once or twice alongside controversial figures. It surfaces repeatedly over the years. She has crossed paths with powerful men who were later exposed and, in some cases, convicted in major scandals within the entertainment industry. Names such as Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, and Sean Combs each occupied influential positions within Hollywood's inner circle before becoming the focus of deeply troubling headlines. Individually, any one of these associations could be dismissed as coincidence. However, when similar connections appear repeatedly, some observers begin to question whether a broader pattern exists. Patterns rarely emerge overnight. They develop gradually, often unnoticed, until hindsight brings them into sharper focus. Consider Weinstein. For decades, he was not widely viewed as a villain but as a dominant force in film. Celebrated on red carpets, honored at award shows, and praised publicly. Like many others in the industry at the time, Oprah spoke positively about him before the allegations against him became widely known. He was embraced and respected until investigations led to his dramatic downfall. In retrospect, many now wonder how warning signs were missed or overlooked for so long.